Now that we have made our two sides of our nightstand, we are ready to make the two shelves. We can see from our cutting list we have two shelves. They're 13¼ inches long and 12 inches wide with a thickness of 3/4 of an inch. And they are located 3½ inches up from the bottom and 3½ inches down from the top. So we're going to use that information to begin making our shelves. I'm going to again select the box 3D option, and for my first corner I'm going to enter 0 and hit enter. Now I've begun to make my box. For my other corner, instead of typing in a number, I'm going to use my snaps. So I'm going to make sure my object snap is on, and I am going to make sure my end box is checked. And now I'm going to come up to my command line. I'm going to select this 3-point option so that I can define my box by clicking 3 points. So I am going to select this corner and make sure I snap in and click. And then I'm going to pull back and I'm going to snap in and click to this corner. Now I have established the length and width of my shelf, and I'm going to now give it a thickness by typing in a value in the command line. I will type in 0.75 for the height. And I have created my shelf. You'll see the shelf now is fully located on the left side and just touching the right side. What we want when we construct our nightstand is for this shelf to be buried halfway into each side. So I know the thickness of my shelf, my side, is 0.75 inches. Half of 0.75, or 3/4, half of 3/4 is 3/8, with a decimal equivalent of 0.375. So I'm going to single click on this red arrow. I'm going to type in 0.375, which is equal to 3/8, and hit enter. And now I know this nightstand is exactly halfway into each side. The shelf is halfway into each side. I'm now going to move my nightstand into its appropriate location. We can see again here it's 3½ inches up. So I'm going to single click on my blue arrow, and again make sure your gumball is on so these arrows are available. Single click on the blue arrow and type in 3.5 and enter. And I now have my first shelf in the right spot. Now we want to make a copy. And I know that these two shelves are 15½ inches apart from each other. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use my gumball tool to make a copy at an exact distance. So select your shelf. Click on your blue arrow and begin dragging. Do not let go of your mouse. While you are dragging, quickly tap the Alt key and notice that plus sign will appear. As you are still holding your mouse button down, in your command line, with your mouse button down, type in 15.5 and hit enter. And now you can let go of your mouse. And at this point, you will have made a shelf, a copy of your shelf, exactly 15.5 units up from your first shelf. If you want to double check that, you can turn on your snap that says INT, which is an intersection snap. Go to your Analyze menu and click on Distance. I can snap into this intersection right here and click. I can snap into this intersection here and click. And I can notice that these are exactly 14.75 inches from the bottom to the bottom, which, if you account for the thickness, would be 15.5 inches from the midpoint to the midpoint. And I can try this again. I can analyze distance. I can check from here to here, and I get 3.5. So we have now made our two shelves in our nightstand. We're going to come to our Layers tab, create a new layer. We're going to name that layer Shelves. I'm going to select a new color for my shelves. I'm going to select blue. I'm going to select my shelf, hold the shift key down, select my other shelf, right click on the shelves layer and say change object layer. So I now have two sides and two shelves of my nightstand. At this point, make sure you come to your nightstand model and save this on your OneDrive. Find your folder and save it in the appropriate folder.